Well, she was diagnosed with breast cancer on a day she usually associates with happiness. But now that day is recognized for two very different things. Breast cancer survivor Dianne Duncombe beat the illness more than 10 years ago and is now sharing her breast cancer journey. Here's Cleopatra Murphy.
Today, I am cancer-free. I am no longer under the care of doctors, and I'm now living my life to the fullest that how God intended it to be.
Breast cancer survivor Dianne Duncombe is elated to have beaten the disease, and today continues to find support among members of the Jenny Dean Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group. She says it was the watchful eye of her husband that noticed the lump in her breast.
I jumped up and I looked down, and there was the lump. It was nearly the size of our almond, just sitting right on top of my breast.
Duncombe went to the doctor and had a number of procedures before she was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer on October 24, 2007, on her 26th wedding anniversary. Naturally, she cried, reminded of her mortality, but says she had a reason to live.
I just thought about my kids. At that time, I had a young daughter. She was 11 years old. You know, and I was afraid of leaving her behind. I have 4 children. Actually, she was the youngest one. And my mind ran. I said, I have to live for her.
She got a mastectomy and had her left breast removed, followed by 6 rounds of chemotherapy. Duncombe recalls it was her ever-observant husband who noticed when her hair began falling out. She went to the barber and shaved it all off, but recalls her daughter's reaction.
My little girl said, Mommy, you're not going to drop me to school like that, eh? I said, why? Because my friends is going to laugh at me. You know, I said, really? You know, because to me it didn't matter, you know, because I was tackling this thing head on. She said, no, you can't do that, Mommy. No, because they're going to tease me about your head. So at that point I said, anyhow, I turned around and I went and I bought the wigs. But I wore it for a few weeks, but afterwards I just took it off because she got used to it.
Duncombe says she learned to manage chemotherapy, recalling that the last 3 were rough.
And I can always recall the last chemotherapy. I said to my oncologist, I said, wow, you really dosed me up, eh? Because I was really, really sick. I said, you gave me a double dose. He only smiled. I said, I know, because I felt it. You're going to make sure stamp this chemo out? He said, yes. I'm going to help you get rid of this chemo. And that's what he did.
Now, almost 12 years later, Duncombe is thriving and says she lives life fully. She says support from family and her faith in God were instrumental in confronting her fears and winning her breast cancer fight. For those now fighting, she says do not give up because there is hope. Duncombe counts herself as a prime example. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.